then from there,
Mhm.
connect those things into a front-facing LLM.
Yeah, I feel like
Yep.
I feel like the blockchain crypto world has a couple really good things right. Of like when I create, say, a new token, a new something, like you post the source code for it. You post like exactly how this thing was actually made. So it allows someone to actually come by and do a security audit of it, or just in this
Hmm.
case, audit where it's been tuned. It's tuned. The sentiment has been tuned, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I can
It,
tell you right now. I think if we're, I mean, you guys know that this country builds the car before they even start thinking about the seatbelt. And I can tell you right now, if we're really, want to move forward with, proper procedures and, guidelines and guidance, there should be a, Google actually kind of started this, but there should be a, like an AI policy government focused group, that is reviewing models, that is reviewing, these things. Okay, putting it if it's going to be put on the blockchain, those public access, everything, be able to come in and mark reference that, hey, this information is actually incorrect. And I'm not it, it's interesting. I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, this information is actually correct, or it's incorrect, or being able to also put in the community that, hey, guys, we told Grok, OpenAI, whatever, that this segment in their data isn't factual, and here's the report that we gave, like a BBB.
Mm.
mhm.
You know what? Actually, I want to make one edit to what you said. I think the one change I would say is that actually I feel like I'm a lot less inclined to saying a government agency, but more of like a nonprofit group or something
Yeah.
like that. Um, with the same type of like mission or something like that, but some teeth in it that um, means that if you're not certified by this, like a good one is like, what is it, the B Corp one, right? There's a B Corp
Okay.
label
Yeah.
that you
I
can get
was I was
on in
thinking
your
GNU too. Wasn't GNU
uh,
like a
GNU, yeah,
GNU? Yeah.
GNU, yeah, which is I feel like I feel like the government part, because right now it feels like government is just seems to shift depending on who's in office and
Yeah.
how they feel and their sentiment. The thing that are consistent are these seem to be some of these nonprofits, or not all of them, but certain ones like the Electronic Frontier Foundation (EFF), which they protect digital. They're a digital rights group that's based in California that focus on it, and they have a lot of. I feel like they have teeth in it because, like, if you're doing things that hurt copyrights and things like that, um, and they speak out against what you're doing, then there's directly some effect to business. But
Yeah.
like I think they need something like that. They need like some certification, something like that that is connected to a nonprofit. It is not connected to the capitalistic part of our our of how we do things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So, and the sad part to me is that it's going to take the disaster probably, or the bad thing to happen before a foundation like that or some kind of nonprofit is stood up. When
yeah,
some kind of widespread damage due to misinformation provided by large language model um, would that be like, okay, well now we're gonna stand this up since X, Y, and Z has happened.
yeah. Oh, I feel like we might get there before that, before the thing. I think there's enough lessons out here. Was it the GNU Foundation, or was it the one that does the GPL license? That just happened because folks were just concerned about people taking their software, or companies being, companies taking what they've done, selling it out, and not actually contributing back to what they've just taken from. And it
Yeah.
was just a protective measure. I think we are at a good place for protective measures to appear, right? I just don't know who those people are. And I feel like some of these folks that have left open AI will probably end up trying to be some of these people, right?
I was actually, that's a really good point. Because one of them in particular, I think it's one of our talking points today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this and then we'll move forward. I think the highlight or the thing that goes wrong, misinformation, whatever it may be, is no longer dependent on if it's harmful, if it's true, if it's false, if it does damage. We live in a society now, and it's unfortunate I'm about to say this, that it heavily depends on who said it. Because
Yeah.
if one individual, who may sit in a particular political seat, if they say it, it is nowhere near going to carry that much impact or that much not damage, but that much, reparation or stuff where it may be.
Yeah.
It is dependent on who says it, who did the damage. And so the damage can be just as impactful, if not more. But if it's coming from a certain individual, who sits in a certain seat, then it will be either pushed up the rug or ignored or just kind of moved along like nothing happened. And so I think that's also unfortunate.
Now, in the agentic world, it's all the same thing, but the difference is when it comes to the toppings, they give you little toppings, and you can add some toppings on top of it. They give you some cheese, you can add some cheese on top of it. The difference is when it comes to consuming it, they give you context, and you can add your own context too. The feedback loop of like whether it was a good decision or not, they give you information for that, and you can also tell you your sentiment, how it felt, like how eating that pizza felt, right? I think so. This is I think the shift that's happening. It's now rather than the vendor part stopping right at just the toppings at the bottom layer of what a pizza actually is, and allowing you to just control all the decisions and make good and bad decisions. Now you have an AI agent that's providing its knowledge base, things that they know within the process now. So what's happening with this shift? Essentially, the AI agents they're replacing SaaS. Like it's going to the ability to have your own decision loop on your own and have to write your own configuration files to execute something connected to someone's SaaS. Like that's going to shift away, and you're just going to have this AI agent you're just going to ask questions to, or tell it what you want. And depending on how that thing is tuned is going to be how good it's actually going to work out for you. So.
I feel like it's the slow death of the, like, I gotta disagree. Because I think that it's the slow death of the SaaS certification. So when I'm thinking of a SaaS product, I think of like something like AWS. So if AWS was to release their agents, like that allowed you to ask it to, hey, look, set up my subnets, the internal, external subnets, get everything set up for the infrastructure of my company with storage, the container management, everything like that. If we get to the point where AWS releases an agent that I can just ask something more broad than that, like something closer to the end product that I want, and it will automatically set those things up for me. That is, I think, going to be that's they could totally do, and I could see on the horizon for them. But what that's going to do is take away really the need for possibly the skills and getting that done yourself, like manually, like either through knowledge of Terraform, going in there through the UI, setting everything up manually, your regular AWS level certification skill set. What was that? What's the first one that you get? ACE, certified cloud practitioner.
Protection. Yeah.
Yeah. So that level of the certification, I don't know is necessary in the agentic AWS world.
Who's alerting the mom and pop shops? Who's
AI
alerting?
friends.
We are.
Yeah.
For
I
instance.
like that.
This
I
is,
like
this
that
is
a
what you
lot.
come here for.
Mhm. But yeah, I mean, these types of changes, these types of things are happening every single day, and yet, we're not teaching, we're not alerting, we're not outputting this information. Google's not going to tell you to change your approach or anything, because I mean, a lot of their revenue is very much still based on SEO, and stuff and everything, and so they're not going to tell you to change your approach.